Yo, what is up guys, Ghost here, and today we've got some new information coming out of Temporeal for Battlefield 2042. So this is either good news or maybe slightly disappointing news depending on how you look at it. And this is referring to Season 1. So we've got a possible date for Season 1 coming up, and we know a little bit more about the new map that is going to be featured in that season as well. So a few months ago, if you guys remember when the Battlefield 2042 beta dropped, Temporeal managed to data mine a map from that build called Ridge, or that was the working title for the map at that time, and he now believes this map to be called Exposure and indeed be the new map that is going to be coming with Season 1. So let's read the descriptions here from both the US side and the Russian side, because this actually sounds kind of interesting in terms of the evolution of the map. So the US side reads, seismic activity in British Columbia has damaged a Canadian-US research facility base. A landslide has exposed the interior and damaged the surrounding area. The Russians wrongly allege that this has revealed a military weapon and are deploying forces onto Canadian soil to secure it. And then for the Russians, a landslide in the Canadian Rockies granted us a view inside the Black Ridge facility, and what we see is a direct threat, a weapon that cannot be allowed to continue to operate. Today's mission is urgent. You will travel to the base along with our allies, then secure all sectors on site. So what is interesting to me is that both of these descriptions feature the word landslide. Now obviously in Battlefield 2042, things in the world have sort of gone down the crapper with climate change and whatnot. We've already got tornadoes in the game, so I think a landslide could be something that they're currently working on, and I think they're planning to implement that in this map. And here's a little interesting tidbit from Tom Henderson that sort of ties into that. So yesterday he tweeted out this, saying a summer 2020 representation of Battlefield 2042 contained earthquakes, fire tornadoes, tsunamis and volcano eruptions, but due to lack of time they needed to just focus on the Twister. The game needed another year, man. I think we can all agree that the game definitely needed another year of development time, but if that's true that they were working on additional natural disaster events like fire tornadoes or tsunamis or indeed landslides, then it could be that they've now gotten the time to start working on those things and are going to build them into the subsequent maps that launch along with the seasons coming down the line. Now, when is Season 1 coming, I hear you cry? A lot of people have been wondering about that. I feel like Battlefield 2042 really, needs some content at this point. I think most of us have kind of gotten bored with the selection of weapons, with the specialists. We're just kind of grinding out the levels, and, they really need to inject some excitement into the game. They have been fixing bugs and whatnot with patches and updates, and that's all good and well, but we really need some new content pretty soon. Now, this might be the disappointing part. Again, according to Temporeal, he says that Season 1 seems to be scheduled for March 2022, and the reason for that is that the Battlefield 2042 client currently includes weekly missions for 12 pre-season weeks. So the weekly missions you get to unlock a certain skin or whatnot, he has data mined 12 of these different weeks, so that would put us at the end of those weeks in March 2022. Now, unless they've added a few weeks as backup just in case they need to prolong the launch of Season 1, it might be sooner than that, and they might therefore use those weekly missions, following the launch of Season 1. As always with anything that is data mined, guys, you can't read into it too much. Like I always say, you've got to take it with a grain of salt, but I would also caution you that every single thing Temporeal has mentioned about Battlefield 2042 has been correct. So there you go. Make of that what you will. Let me know down in the comments if this disappoints you or not. Were you expecting Season 1 sooner? Obviously DICE are, on their Christmas break for Christmas and New Year's, so we're not going to be getting any new updates or anything like that until at least January. Personally, for me, I think it's kind of late. They really, like I said, need to inject something into the game to bring back players who have stopped playing, because the player numbers, at least on Steam, are just really in the pits at the moment. So DICE, they need to turn it up a notch, man. Anyway, fingers crossed that they're going to be able to turn the game around, bring the player base back again, and I hope that when Season 1 does arrive, it's going to kickstart the game. As always, thank you very much for watching the videos. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.